Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm sure you guys have heard about the great announcement by Dana White. It's going down on the 29th of June in UFC 303. That is the International Fight Week, which is one of the biggest combat week for the UFC for sure. So it's going down on that date. And guess who is fighting? The one and only, the notorious Conor McGregor is going to be fighting against Michael Chandler. There's a lot of unknowns about this fight, in my opinion. I actually don't have a clue what's going to happen in this fight. This fight could break a lot of records. It could break the pay-per-view record. It could break the gate. This fight has a lot of potentials. It could be the fight of the night. It could be the fight of the year. You could even get a knockout of the night. Anything can happen in this fight. And it's also one of those fights that I know everyone will be watching. Whether you're a casual fan, a hardcore fan, a boxing fan, whatever you do, most people will be watching this fight. And we all know why, because it's Conor McGregor, obviously. Like, he's done a lot in the sport, and we all know the story. He's just one of a kind when it comes to watching his fight. Of course, he has his own thing, but when it comes to like making a comeback, it is Conor McGregor. Let's not lie about this. So this fight is going to be a 5-round fight. As far as I know, it's also going to be in the 170-pound division, which it kind of favors Conor as well. You know, like it favors Chandler as well. The boys don't have to cut too much weight, although they will still have to cut a little bit of weight. But it's better to cut down a little bit than adding another extra 15 pounds to 155, which is their natural weight class. So this is going to be quite interesting to see how things shake up. When it comes to Chandler, Chandler is a fan favorite. He's a very solid fighter. He's good on the floor. He's good standing as well. Chandler is one of those guys that is a must-watch TV. He's your kind of favorite fighter, if you get what I mean. So Chandler just has it all, and he's very, very good spoken. It seems like a nice guy. Even when they show some of his lifestyle, it seems like someone that has his hair screwed on. And even in the octagon, very respectful before and after the fight. He's just like a perfect fighter. So Chandler made his UFC debut in 2021, and he fought Dan Hooker. When he fought Dan Hooker, it was a very good fight. It was a good way to introduce Chandler to the UFC fans. He won that fight. It was a very nice fight. Chandler is 2-3 in the UFC record at the moment. So he's lost 3 times, but he's also won 2 fights. And all these fights that he's lost, actually, to be honest, he could have won those fights as well. It wasn't like they blew him out of the water. And he doesn't believe in going the distance most of his fights. He just wants to go out there, please the fans. He's a fan pleaser, obviously. He doesn't believe in winning. He wants to entertain the fans. He wants the fan to be happy watching him fight. That's why I say he's like a fan favorite. Chandler is definitely a fan favorite. So after the Dan Hooker fight, he went ahead then. He went and fought Charles Oliveira. Yeah, it was Charles Oliveira that he fought after that. This was another close fight. He could have won this fight as well, but he lost it. Then after Charles Oliveira, then he fought Gaethje. Gaethje is the man. There's no harm in losing to Gaethje. He lost that fight as well. So then he fought Poirier. Then he lost against Poirier. Then he finally fought Tony Ferguson. And he won Tony Ferguson's fight. He gave him a devastating front head kick to the face of Tony Ferguson. I think that was Tony Ferguson's first knockout in the UFC. First knockout loss in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. So Chandler is, those 5 fights he's had, they've always been absolutely amazing. Chandler is not one of those guys that you want to fall asleep when you're watching his fight. You're going to stay awake watching his fight. You know what to expect. You know you're going to expect a great fight from him. He's just like he's one of my favorite fighters. I have a lot of favorite fighters, but Chandler is definitely up there for sure. So as for Conor, we could be here all day talking about Conor McGregor, but I'm not going to do that. Basically, Conor's last 4 fights haven't been the best. He's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights. He's been through ups and downs. You just don't know where he's at the moment. It's very hard to gauge where Conor is, to be honest with you. It's very difficult. Like the fight he had against Habib in 2018. He lost that fight. Then he came back in 2020 against Donald Cerrone. He won that fight. Then he came back against Poirier in 2021. He fought Poirier. He lost that fight. He got finished. Then he fought Poirier again. The same 2021, he fought Poirier again. And then that was when he broke his back leg. He tried to swing the leg kick to Poirier. Then the leg just broke. That was horrifying. I can never forget that moment watching that fight live, and I saw him break his leg. And even after he broke his leg, he was still making mouth on the floor, like, you know. But that's just Conor McGregor for you. You either love him or you hate him, but you will always watch him fight, no matter how you feel about that guy. He's an amazing fighter. Like, you know, he's in his heyday, like in his days of Aldo when he first came in, that left hand, you know, was a money. That left hand was money. Actually, one of my favorite fights of Conor was the one against Eddie Alvarez. Actually, that was my favorite fight. I was like, oh, okay, this guy is damn good. This guy is not just hype. I knew he wasn't just hype, but like when he fought Eddie Alvarez that time and the way he basically precisionalized Eddie Alvarez, that was an amazing, amazing fight. I was like, okay, you know what? This guy is good. But anyways, regardless, it's very hard to know where he's at the moment because breaking your legs is not a small thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's going to be a difficult task for him to win Chandler. But I think he can still do it because Chandler would like to, as I said earlier on, Chandler is one of these guys that likes to entertain the crowd. And if he's reckless or if he's not on his P's and Q's, it's a case of Conor connecting nice and he has the reach advantage, and he has all that kind of things as well. So Chandler needs to be on his P's and Q's. And also, like, I've been hearing a lot of things about kicking Conor's legs, his bad legs or whatever. But you have to remember it's his back leg as well. You know what I mean? So Chandler has to go an extra distance to reach that back leg. So he could only kick the front leg really nicely. You know what I mean? He's closer to the front leg. And you have to remember Chandler is shorter, and the reach is also a disadvantage compared to Conor. So if he tries to get too close to Conor to get that back leg, he could end up in a straight right in the jaw, like a straight left right on the jaw. So it just depends on the give and take. But I think this is what Chandler is going to do anyways. Chandler is just going to go there and fight. He's going to, if he has to take him down, he feels he has him against the defense or has him against the cage, he's going to take him down. If he feels like he has to strike with him, he's going to strike with him. But it's going to be a bad move for someone. If you notice actually one thing about Conor, people that are usually smaller than him, is a bad idea to strike because he has that reach. He knows how to use that left. Again, I don't know where the guy is at. His coach, Kavanagh, was saying he's looking sharp, but he's always going to say these things. He said Conor is ready. He's looking sharp. He's ready to fight. He's hungry to fight. He's been wanting to fight for the last many, many months since after the Ultimate Fighter. Conor was ready to fight. But all these movies that he had to do and all these, you know, all the shows that he has to do for the movies, he has to be here and there. You can't do two things at a time, especially movie and fighting. Fighting is so dangerous if you don't take it 100%. You could lose your life in it. Like, you know, it's no joke. It really is no joke. So you need to be 100% before you start making a fight or booking a fight. You need to make sure all the things that you're doing, you put them at the back burner. Just forget about it. But now he's ready, according to Kavanagh. Anyway, Conor is ready and is ready to fight. And yeah, it's just gonna be an interesting fight. I really don't know. I'm gonna make another video on who I think is when it gets closer. I'm gonna make another video on a few minutes video just to explain what I think is gonna happen in a bit more details, what I think Chandler might do or what I think Conor might do. You know what I mean? But just looking from now, it's just a very, very hard fight for me to predict. Even I know Chandler has been training his ass off. He's been always he's always in shape, training his ass off. But again, all Conor needs is that left as well. I think that left hand is still there. I know he hasn't had success with that left hand lately, but that's because these guys that he's been fighting, Poirier, come on, fighting Poirier twice. Who beats Poirier standing, really? You know, Poirier is like one of the best stand-up fighters you could ever have. And then Habib would just take you down. Although Habib rocked him that time as well, but look, he was so worried about the takedown that he forgot all about the upper body, like he could get knocked out by Habib. So it's gonna be a very, very interesting fight, and I'm really looking forward to it. And if you haven't watched The Ultimate Fighter, I would say go watch it before the fight comes around. you kind of have a little bit more understanding about the two boys. Chandler is a very relaxed guy. Chandler is just like, it's going to be an entertaining fight. And I hope for one thing, I hope McGregor trash talks as well. Just give us that kind of McGregor is back vibe. I don't want him to be too respectful to Chandler. Chandler is going to be respectful anyways, but I want McGregor to bring out some of those trash talk just to make us more be like, oh, he's back. The Conor that we wanted, he's back. You know what? That kind of way, just to sell us into the fight because a lot of people don't believe in Conor at this moment. A lot of people don't. They believe he's going to lose to Chandler. They're already writing him off. They're like, this guy, where is he going to come out? There's a lot of factors. He hasn't been fighting well lately. Too much money. His legs were broken. We've been seeing him partying and all that. So it's just kind of, how do you know what someone is doing behind closed doors? Are they training? What are they doing? They could just be posting all these things on social media, and they could probably only do it like maybe once every 2 months. But the fact that it's Conor, he posted it once on the social media. Oh, people think, oh, that's what he's doing every time. Oh, and if it's advertising his proper 12 and all that thing as well, his new drink, that Guinness drink, Forge, is it? If it's advertising those as well, people think he's drinking it, but he might not be drinking it. You know, it might actually just, it's just advertisement. So I think he's a professional. And I know one thing for sure, he's going to make it to the fight. There hasn't been any time that Conor signs the contract and doesn't make it to the fight. People might be worried about that as well, but I'm confident if that guy signs the contract, he's going to make it to the fight. It's people that usually pulls out and then he picks anyone that comes in, that jumps in. He doesn't mind. He just fights him. At that time, he fought Nate Diaz. Like, you know, it wasn't supposed to be Nate Diaz, let's be honest. When his Diaz jumped in, he fought Nate Diaz. You know, Chad Mendes as well, although Chad Mendes jumped in. He said, come on, let's do it. So Conor is, if there's one thing about that guy, he's a fighter's fighter. Let's forget about any other thing. If there's one thing about him, the man is an proper Irish fighter. Like, you know what I mean? So Irish are fighting people, like, so there's no doubt about that. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see what happens when it gets closer. I'll make another video about the fight and tell you what I think, who is going to win and how I think they're going to win it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.